So I don't want to just have sit down conversations anymore. I think I'm in a space where I really want to document more of my journey. And of course, like most of us, I was pouring my heart out to Claude AI to get a sense of my thoughts. And I really asked it to read between the lines of my journal entry. And it said something to me that stood out, but it felt like exactly what I needed to hear. It said, "It's actually blocking me isn't direction, it's permission. You have the direction, you just articulated it beautifully. What I hear underneath it is, can I really just make content about what I'm curious about and interested in and have it be enough?" And I think that's been a struggling point for me lately, especially coming off of 100 days of daily posting on YouTube a few weeks ago. I was in a different season, a different space, a different mind frame, and a different momentum. And my Claude AI helped me unpack that a little bit. Excuse me. Because right now, who I was then is not who I am now. And my capacity and my load has definitely changed. But separate from those changes, I've been wrestling with I'm a student of life. I'm always a student of life. I have moments where I can come on here and there's certain things that I do want to teach and share from that lens. And then there are times and moments where I just want to walk you through something that I just learned that I haven't even implemented yet, but it wowed me and it stuck with me, or, it gave me like that light bulb is on type of feeling. So, something that chat said to me, let me see if I can find it. Okay. It said, the most honest part of this entry is you're comparing who you were during your 100-day posting streak to who you are now, and noticing that what used to feel energizing now feels heavy. You named two possible explanations. It requires more energy than you have, or it's a lack of direction. I'd offer a third perspective. You've changed. The version of you who was posting daily on YouTube and Facebook was in a different season. She was building momentum from zero and running on activation energy, which is so true. You're not her anymore. You're someone managing an actual organization, deepening your clinical training, and refining a brand that's already real. The content strategy that fit her doesn't fit you right now. It loves to hit you with that's not that, that's this. That's not regression, it's evolution. And I'll take it. I do feel like I'm evolving, or I've evolved into something else. I just didn't know exactly what that is. And I sat with a question that came to my mind about this channel. I said, if my kids ever found my YouTube channel one day, what could they think? What would they think? And I want them to see the journey and the steps that I actually took. I want them to see what it looked like to go back to grad school at 35 to change careers. I want them to see what it looked like to work a job that felt unfulfilling, crappy to say the least, and exhausting. And to work something that didn't make me happy or didn't bring me joy. I want them to see my falls and hiccups and unedited videos here on YouTube and random conversations, because it built confidence in me. I'd want them to see healing from the heartbreak that I thought I just never expected. I would want them to see the honesty in that journey. I want them to see the random day I was in Barnes & Noble parking lot and I turned that camera on with terrible lighting and started day one of 100 days of recording and not knowing where it was going to go. I guess the main thing I would want them to see is that they have the choice and the ability to quite literally change their life and do whatever it is that they want to do. That this journey comes with bumps, that life comes with hiccups. And even through all of those bumps and those hiccups, you can still find your way, and you can even pave your way. You can do all of this with the help of God, giving you grace, giving you direction, giving you clarity. I want them to see how my faith was activated, but also my faith built a resiliency in me. I want them to see a woman who bounced back after breast cancer. I want them to see just the resiliency expanded or extended amongst every area of my life. That's what I'd want them to see on this channel. And there's so many different ways that you can go about creating conversations on here. I love sitting down, turning this camera on, having good, unedited, unfiltered, unscripted conversation because it gives me permission to be imperfect, permission to be myself, but permission to speak from what's right here and not feel like I have to have a crutch or I have to have something else to lean on. It basically boils down to giving yourself permission that your voice is enough, that you know enough, that you've done enough, that you're equipped enough to be able to turn this camera on and have a conversation about anything or things that you are an expert of, things that have been like a part of your life in your journey from your lens. So this entry that I wrote today was so random, but it's exactly what I needed because it showed me the pillars that I was like trying to create and the box that I kind of was trying to put myself in just limits my voice. And when I limit my voice, I limit my art, I limit my creativity. And I think it's beautiful when we let our first thought be our first thought and like put your art out there from your first thought. You're not second guessing yourself, even though we do that so naturally. We don't let that stop us. You can still move forward and you can still create, you can still design, you can still write from that place of trueness, from your first thought. Don't second guess yourself. Don't worry about what you're saying or doing. Don't underestimate or undermine yourself. Just put it out there. Like dip that paintbrush in paint and like just splatter it on the canvas and then create around it. And I feel that's the direction that we're going to go with this channel, with our conversations. It feels exciting. It feels exciting. I wrote down here too, to the point of what I wrote actually. It stated a few things. It said that you said you want to grow YouTube monetization to fund travel and investments next year, which is true. That's clear, time-bound goal. So the question becomes, what kind of content actually grows a channel to that revenue level, and does it align with what you just described? The answer is yes. Lifestyle meets purpose content with a strong personal narrative. Especially from Black women creators right now. Story-driven content performs and how the algorithm rewards that. It's just, for me, the biggest reward, I think, is the fact that I can turn this on, learn how to tell a story, express a story, tell it better over time, show you in the process of documenting certain things, and really make content about what I'm curious about and interested in. And let that be enough. I literally said in my random journal thought, what if I just did 12 months of being a student? What if I just literally documented 12 months of being a student of life? One of my words this year has become liberation, and I'm building out something around that word for us, but I have to do it in a way where it would be kind of self-sufficient, if that makes sense. I'm thinking almost like a community, maybe a membership. I'm being honest with what my true capacity is, but I want it to be this space of liberation. I put in my notes when I was talking to Claude AI. I wonder how often y'all talk to it too. Sometimes it's just like when you need a second voice and you don't have a second voice available. I guess third voice besides the Lord. This is like that quick second voice. But I put, what if some of my videos were about becoming a student of life? I know you mentioned I have monetizable skills right now, which is what? Okay, that sentence, it makes sense. I want to grow. I want to grow my YouTube channel to fund my investments, but more so my travels abroad next year to explore. I want to talk about art and people who make their art. I love hearing stories. I think most of us are trying to escape the rat race. So, how do we do that? How do we create daily lives of liberation? That's why I'm becoming a therapist, to have freedom of my time, money, and get paid to do what I love. Maybe I'm still doing this with myself. But I mentioned one of the YouTube creators that I relate to, Shameless Maya. I think she since has changed her name on here. I'm going to tag her. I just love how she has like brought us into her world and shown us her back end journey of living in a different country, being married, becoming a mom, renovating this house, honey, that like had some stuff happen to it, finding her relationship with God, becoming a doula. Her last video like really captivated me. And of course she has like that skill of videography anyways and photography. But I think she uses it so beautifully to capture just her honest truth, her honest thoughts, and her journey. And I feel that is the direction that I want to go with this channel. I love being able to sit here and talk, but there are like moments of my day where I was like, oh, I wish I had my video camera on me. I wish I could record this sunset. I wish I could record the beauty of this moment or what I'm thinking right now in this moment. Of course, I can do that with my phone, but sometimes it's just nice to have this like video footage here. And my DJI Osmo 3 is so tiny that it's very easy to do. So I've started carrying it with me everywhere that I go and being intentional about that. So I know going hand in hand, one thing that's going to be super important, of course, is like I may have to schedule out my time a little bit better. I have been in my new job position as a general manager for 3 weeks. No, 4 weeks. It'll be a month next week. So it has taken me every bit of those 30 days to just find a good flow for myself with living in between cities right now, stepping into this job role, understanding it, doing the work, and finishing a semester of grad school, which I'm currently on spring break. So yay for me. We'll toast with matchas to celebrate. But I say all that to say I think I'm going to have to start being a little more strategic now with how I take time out to plan these videos. Is our daily videos the true capacity that I have right now, or maybe I'm on here at least 3 times a week or 4 times a week? Maybe the quality of the conversation in the video goes up. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but I know that I do want to document a little bit more of what I'm mentioning and talking about and sharing, and just where I'm at, what I'm doing, how I'm apartment shopping, how I'm just navigating different points and places of my life personally too. I just feel like that's where we're at now for the next 100 plus days or whatever that may look like. And I think so many of us are trying to escape the rat race. It's not even funny. I'm not going to use any perfect, elevated, overly articulate words right now in saying all of this, but we tired, okay? People are tired. And we just want different for ourselves. We want different days, different money, different lives, different realities. This is why the word liberation has not left me, and it quite literally is my word for the year. It's something to be said about seeking a liberated life, and we are, I feel like so many people are starting to step out and do things differently. They're waking up, they're realizing that this job they've been at for 11 years just doesn't work anymore. They're unhappy. They're realizing that maybe the relationship doesn't work anymore. that there's just more to life. There's so much more to life. There's so much more to joy, so much more to love. People are in therapy now that haven't been in therapy before. And I mean, I'm rooting for all of us. I want us to get to the space of being our most liberated selves. And when you realize the feelings that you desire to feel and the things that give you that feeling, right? Maybe it's no longer living in that little small town where you grew up. Maybe it's finally taking the leap, selling the house, and moving to a new state, meeting new friends, new people. Maybe it's finally getting a passport and traveling out of the country. Maybe it's making a list of places that you'd want to live internationally at some point. Maybe it's figuring out, okay, what do I need to do to split my time up between the US and somewhere, out of the country, because that brings me joy, that makes me feel good. I just believe that we're waking up and we're spending some honest time with ourselves to reevaluate what has no longer been working and what really matters. For some, my friend was telling me this the other day when we were talking about financial planning. I'll be working with a new financial advisor, which I'm going to have him on this channel, and I cannot wait. That is my homie. He is so intelligent. I have watched him make major moves. I mean, he has made some good money. I've literally been able to just see the fruits and the goodness of his life through those decisions. And I'm like, oh, sign me up for that. Like, copy, paste, repeat, and I'm not trying to be the only one living that life. This needs to be available for everybody and all of us to be able to make that decision and live that life. But maybe it's like finally him and I were talking about different ways you can set up your finances essentially. And it depends on what's really important to you. If you're in a position where having the lavish house, being able to splurge a little bit more on that makes more sense, feels more comfortable to you. You're not someone that travels often, so you don't really have a need to create a travel budget like that. You're the type that does the 2 trips a year, saving up vacation PTO time. If that's you, that's fantastic. But maybe you're on the latter end where you are someone that prioritizes travel. It's a top value of yours. So more of your money and more of your investments, you do want to be able to go to that and be able to make that available for you. And having a house or purchasing a house isn't as important. So depending on, what your thing is and what your priority is, he was just expressing like how you really need to make your budget and your desires based around that. And I thought that was really, really good. I thought it was a really good reminder, especially seeing the new season that many people are in with making changes within their internal life and their internal reality, to just make sure it aligns with what they desire. So these are all the good conversations that we'll be having very soon. And I just want to have a space where more stories are told, even mine included. More perspectives are offered, more permission is given, more awareness is available. I think we'll never stop being students of life until we're 6 feet under, to be honest. There will always be something new to learn, to implement, to pivot, to adjust, even new ways that you want to slow down. In my late 30s now, the work ethic that I had in my 20s, I don't have as strongly in my 30s. So I have to do things a little differently, I'm seeing. And I'm grateful for the space to be able to do that, to hit the reset button in a healthy way, right? After experiencing a couple layoffs and changes in my life financially, and hitting the reset button with grace, with space to do so. And I know how I want the reset to feel, and I know what I want to reset. So knowing those things and like having that clarity is so helpful. And that's how I'm doing things different this go around. So yeah, rebuilding from scratch is an interesting thing, but definitely not impossible. And if you're going to rebuild, make it what you really want, not what anyone told you it should be, especially not what the world told you it should be either. So All right, y'all. Those are my thoughts for today. If you're new here, definitely like, comment, subscribe. Love to have you a part of our channel. Love to have you here and present for the future conversations to come and the people that we're going to have on this channel as well too. I'm very excited for just everything, with intention, with growth, with change, with elevation, just with all of it. So, all right, y'all. Until the next video, I will talk to you later.